Did you know it's surprisingly simple for someone to spy on your text messages or to spy on your phone calls when you're making them? It's just settings in your iPhone that you need to make sure are turned off. I'll walk you through all of those steps, so let's jump right in. The first thing we're going to do is open up the Settings app on your iPhone. After you've opened up that Settings app, all we're going to do is scroll down to the bottom, and you'll see at the very bottom is Apps. Just tap on that. And then next we're going to scroll down and make sure no one is spying on your phone. Just go down and go to the Phone section and tap on that. The first thing that I would recommend doing is scrolling down, and we're going to check call forwarding. Now on here, if this is turned on, essentially it means all of your calls are being forwarded to another device, allowing that other device to be able to pick up your calls or maybe even listen in on those calls. So this is one place that we're going to check, but let's also check another thing to make sure your carrier isn't forwarding all of your calls as well. So if this is turned on and you don't recognize it, make sure to turn it off. But let's also go out of here and open up the Phone app on your iPhone. Now within the keypad, we're going to dial ##002 and then another pound. This is a code, and when you hit the dial button, it will pop up with a screen that says this. It says settings erasure succeeded, voice call forwarding all calls. Essentially what this means is it is turned off call forwarding across all of the settings on your phone in addition to your carrier. So AT&T, Verizon, Sprint, T-Mobile, whatever you might have, it's turned off that call forwarding. However, there's a chance that somebody is also reading your text messages and that's being forwarded. So let's hop out of here and go back to your settings. And on your settings, let's go back to the very beginning. I'll show you where to find your messages settings. So at the very beginning of your settings, let's go down to the bottom and tap on Apps again. And then let's just scroll down until we find messages on this list. So scroll down and there is messages. Tap on that. Similar to calls, your text messages could be forwarded. All you need to do is scroll down until you find text message forwarding and tap on that. In my case, I have it turned on because I'm forwarding my text messages from my iPhone over to my MacBook Pro, which I'm okay with because I own that MacBook Pro and I'm okay with those text messages being on there. If you see a device on there that you don't recognize and you don't want your text messages to be forwarded to that device, make sure to turn it off. Or if it's a shared device like a family iPad or something like that, again, make sure to turn it off. However, that's not the only place that could potentially be checking and seeing your text messages and your calls. Let's go back to the very beginning of your settings. So go back until you get to this screen. And at the very top, you'll see your name. So tap on your name. And from here, you'll be able to see, I'm going to tap on iCloud midway down. And then you'll be able to see messages here. If you don't see that, just tap on See All and then go to Messages. This says the messages in iCloud is turned on. Essentially what this means is all of your text messages on your iPhone are being synced up to the iCloud and shared with your iCloud. So if anyone else has access to that, maybe it's a shared family iCloud or there's another device that has access to that iCloud, they could potentially, again, read your text messages and see all of that information. You could choose to turn that off if you don't basically want it to be synced up. However, if no one else has access to it, you can always just leave it on so that you have a backup on the iCloud just in case you lose your phone. The last thing I would recommend checking is let's go back again until you get to Apple account and your name. We're going to scroll down to the very bottom, and at the very bottom, you'll see devices that are logged into your Apple ID account. You want to check those devices and make sure they're devices that you own and still have. A lot of times, people have an old iPhone and they give it away or sell it, but it's still logged into their Apple account and it still shows up on this device list. If it does show up on that device list and you don't recognize that device, you can always scroll down to the bottom and hit remove account to make sure that it doesn't have access to all of your information. It doesn't have access to your messages, your calls, all of that stuff. Remove any device that you don't recognize on here. And now you can be sure no one is spying on your text messages or your phone calls.